told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never
Snap into a Slim
said
Jim.
you felt
Ooh, yeah. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Strength Classroom. Today I'm showing you, I think I got 3 hours of sleep before this workout. This was brutal, okay? I just could not sleep. But you know what? You got to modify. You don't miss workouts, you modify them. So, exercise selection, low. Exercise stress, low. Exercise stimulus, I try and make it as high as possible. And, you just push through. As I said in a previous video, the best skill you can develop for working out, fitness, training, whatever you want to call it, is to not so much always try and have great workouts, but when you're not feeling good, how can you still have an effective workout? So I've been trying to do some more high reps with my dynamic work. So I did 6 sets of 3. And on my final set, did as many as I could. This is 300 pounds on the bar with a shit ton of band tension. And I did 15 total reps. Hatfield squats are great. They might be my favorite squat variation that you can have. I just don't see how it gets any better. You could use your hands for some slight assistance. Because of your hands, you can, play around with your form. You can squat in a way that might not be able to happen when you don't have those assistants. It's just great. It's just great. Upright, lean forward, low bar, high bar style. It doesn't matter. It's a great movement. I suggest you try it out if you have access to that equipment. Then instead of, because I was so tired, I wanted to do snatch grip Romanian deadlifts. But I'm like, you know what? I need something that's going to be less overall stress on my body, but I need it to be challenging. So I'm like, you know what? I'll do slight hand assistance, unilateral, one arm, one leg, Romanian deadlifts. I know that's a fucking mouthful, because it is. But this is an effective exercise. This is a 130-pound dumbbell. I really feel it in the hamstrings. It's also some slight rotation of the upper body, so you don't want it to torque you in any way, and that's part of the challenge. But I just did 2 sets of 10 to 12 there. Then I did some hip lunges, which, speaking of hips, I actually found out what's wrong. Because of the injury to my ab, the tendon started hardening and building up to just, let's say, protect that area. And it's become tight. And the muscle can't fire as well. It's like tugging on something. So the physio said it's either a bone growth or a tendon growth. But then after I explained when I warm it up, it doesn't injure. And he's like, okay, if it was a bone growth, it would always pinch. It wouldn't go away. So he gave me some hip opening exercises, and because of the way the injury was, my hip started being more internally rotated and there wasn't as much space in my hip as there should be, and that explains the pain. So I'm dealing with it. I did the rehab exercises. After one round of them, honestly, I'd say 90% of the pain went away. So that's great. And I did 2 sets of those. Sorry, I got off track, but I'm sure that's something you guys would like to hear about. Then I saw this variation on Instagram or YouTube Reels, doesn't matter. It's like a reverse hyper, but because you don't add weight, you're supposed to do a stupid amount of reps, so 50 to 100 reps. This gives a good pump in your hamstrings. Sorry about that. Your glutes. It's a great exercise, I will say. It's obviously not a big, huge mass builder, but you want to pump yourself up. That's essentially what it is. It's a pump exercise. So I did 2 sets of 50 with that. Here's the breakdown. I wasn't able to film my sled warm-up, but there was. And then as a bonus, here is a second workout, which I did the next morning. These are like my non-conjugate days, and I'm shifting in focus. I'm going to have 3 days where it's a typical like conjugate, barbell, quasi powerlifting training. And then I'm going to have 3 days where I do stuff like this, where it's like, let's call it unconventional training. So here's just some grip work, one arm pull-up hangs. I want to start doing these with weight. I can hold like a 35-pound kettlebell for like 2 seconds like that, and I want to be able to do that more. I want to get my grip strength up, especially in stuff like that, like different types of grip strength. Then I did neck, and I'm going to be doing neck 3 times a week only during these workouts, and I might do some like pump work with bands on other days, but my main neck work is going to be 3 times a week on these unconventional days. You have 3 sets of 15 to 20, I believe, with 90 pounds on the neck curl, which is really not that challenging for me anymore. It's okay, it's not a walk in the park, but it's not as hard as it used to be because of the strong neck, and that allows me to have to not worry about so much about pinching the 2 plates together and having them slide. So it really works. If you would like a copy, one of your own, Strength Classroom is the code, gets you 10% off. I am the #1 advocate for this product because it's all about those neck gains, baby. And then I alternated back and forth 3 sets of 20 with neck extensions. That's a 70-pound kettlebell. My neck extensions are getting a lot stronger. My form is getting better. Then I started fooling around with some dumbbells. I saw this on Instagram as well. I can't remember what the gentleman called it, but it's like you're like rowing it back and up at the same time. So I did 10 of those, and then I did 10 just double kettlebell cleans, which it's a great exercise for the upper back, hips, grip strength because you're holding on to the thick kettlebell longer than you would normally, I guess, is a great way of explaining it. But this is good for conditioning. It's just good. Let's put it that way. It's just good. People should be doing this shit probably more often. And it's good because you're like absorbing contact from the weight as well. And then 3 sets of 12 of mace swings. I'm getting so damn smooth with this mace. Like, this is a picture perfect mace swing right here. You could see the way I'm pulling my arm, all that stuff. But the reason I'm showing this workout in this video, if you would like me to get more clips and more angles and really explain what I'm trying to do with these workouts, I will include them as well. I think it can give some people some ideas about how to like explore their toolbox, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a workout in its own. You should be like, hey, shit, that exercise looks like it's be good on my deadlift day or my back day or my upper body day, what have you. And then I just finished off with 3 sets of 10 of glute ham raises just because I was so fatigued the day before. I'm like, let me just get some extra hamstring work in. Can never have too much in my honest opinion. But yeah, that's just a quote unquote unconventional day. So my new split is going to be 3 days per week, typical conjugate, upper, lower, and then 3 days per week, unconventional training. If you have any questions, put them in the comments, and have a great day, ladies and gentlemen.